Hello guys, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recap and Teachings. All right guys, pretty volatile day today. It was not an easy day. So it was a pretty volatile day, not an easy day, because so much news, so much tariff news, Trump tweets, Trump updates, so much going around, right? Market at one moment looking like market is holding and next moment it is, coming down. But anyways, we'll cover all that. I'll do a special discussion on how to manage risk on such volatile days. We'll talk about that. But let's do a quick introduction to anybody who's new to me, new to my my Twitter, my X, YouTube, or new to our community. All these trade apps or trade recaps, all these teachings are from mostly from my community trades or from Twitter or anything I share with you guys and on YouTube in my previous videos. We trade a repeatable system called Ripster EMA Clouds. This system is traded by thousands of traders across the world to trade consistently, to keep losers at minimal, and losers are part of the game, and winners big. Every morning, me and my team, we create a game plan for the day. You see this game plan right in front of you. We have the morning news plays. We have earning plays, gappers, up gappers, down gappers. We have upgrades, downgrades, and we have market plays, which are index stocks. Market plays are which move with the market, which don't really have any news, but they are index stocks like Magnificent 7. So we have planned for that. We have an initial game plan. We create a support levels, resistance levels, and we create an initial game plan, as you see. And based upon that game plan, we try to execute those trades during the day. In addition to that, we also share something called the day to day 3 strategy. Day to day 3 strategy is one of the repeatable strategy that I've been teaching from some time. These are the plays which had news yesterday, day before, or that we look for the setups on them. I had done a free webinar on this as well. In addition to that, we also shared levels for all the market index stocks, semiconductor stocks that move with the market, so the traders can use the EMA Clouds and these resistance and support levels to trade them. We also share crypto levels, crypto stocks every day with the community. We also have futures planning in the pre-market, trading the NASDAQ, ES, and futures. In addition to that, we also have an IPO list, low float channel as well in the community. We have a bunch of tools in the community. We have four scanners, stock scanners, option scanners, all on the screen share. We have breaking news alert. Today was a great trade on a breaking news short. We'll talk about that. And I'm on voice first few hours and the market open, guiding the trades to the market. And any good trades that I like, any trades I take, or even if I don't take, I guide the traders through all that we have on the game plan and overall market analysis, how we can manage the day. So I'll show you my timestamp guidance. I can't show you what I talk live in the community, but that's a good introduction. Let's start. So today I share this on my Twitter feed and my community that if you do not make, if you are a trader, if you trade for a living, you trade every day, or you're starting the stock market as a trader, if you do not make any money today, that is okay. That is okay, because the days like today, where although there were a lot of setups, there was definitely a lot of trades to be taken. But if you are stuck with the market, especially if you're trading indexes, you're trading S&P, QQQ, SPY futures, NASDAQ futures, the market, it can be volatile on a day like that where there's no clear direction. And you have to either use the system to see what your system tells you, which we will talk through today, is what happened with the market. We'll go through that. Or if you don't, if you feel that your trades are not working, you should step away, because if it's too much news, too much volatility, and no clear direction, it's important to, if you had let's say you have a red trade in the morning and your second trade is not working, just sit on the hands, because when we start to lose, we have a red day. We have a red morning trade. We have an urge to get that red back, make it green, and we trade bad setups. We trade no setups. We just try to make that money back, and we make a small red into big red day. And that's when it comes when I say that you do not have to trade, because trying to trade when there is no setup, the market is not what you're looking for, there's no A+ setup, you will lose money. And you will lose money what you made in last few days. Better than doing that, you wait like a sniper. You wait like a sniper for a good trending day. What we did for last 6-7 days when we had a nice bearish trend, clear trend, we were doing pretty good in the market. We were shorting and we were not like scalping up and down. We were holding the bearish trend. Even on the bullish days, if you talk about last few months, we were long trend trades, swing trades. Those are the days where you make most. But the traders have an urge. There is an urge, a behavior that we want to trade every day. We don't want to end a trade day with little red. We don't want to end the trade little green. We see something moving, somebody saying something, we want to jump in. And that's when we make mistakes, because we have to ask ourselves, is there a setup? What kind of setup is that? Is an A+ setup? What is an A+ setup? If I'm trying to long something, is market trending or market choppy? Does this setup gives me good risk to reward? Is my entry good? Is there an option flow? Is there a news? Is there a catalyst? What type of setup I'm playing? You should ask yourself before you press the button, what kind of setup I'm playing. Market has personalities. This is especially for the market. Market has different personalities which show again and again and again. Again, if you were short Amazon, Google, or Netflix today, you did pretty good. But if you were just trading the indexes and you were not managing your risk, then you would lose few trades, and then you will force, even if something worked, you try to short something and you had a tight stop, you got out in panic, and then that thing went on to fade and you missed on 100% gainer, then you will have a FOMO. You will like, oh, I missed this trade. Okay, I have to make another trade. I have to make another trade. And then you jump in with that mentality. You forget about your systematic approach, your goal. That it's not about one day. One day doesn't make your trading career. And do not let one trade define your trading career. We often let one day define our trading career, where one mistake wipes our, weeks worth of, days worth of, the gains or the account growth. That's why when I say if I do not make money today, that is okay, because I know when an A+ day comes, I will make more for this choppy day. So I want to sit on hand, or I'm just going to risk. If I usually take 10 contracts, I'm going to take 2 contracts today. If I usually take 1,000 shares, I'm just going to trade 100 shares today, because the environment is not A+, and you need to identify that. You need to watch my previous videos, watch thousands of recaps, try to understand the days which were solid trend days on downside or upside, and try to differentiate those. And tell your mind that if I do not trade, that is okay. I will preserve what I have. What would you rather have? Would you rather close red or no trade? The answer is no trade. Because if you lose today, tomorrow you will try to just, bring back what you lost yesterday. If you have a daily loss limit, stick with it, move on. That's the biggest mistake traders often do. They're on a nice winning streak for 5-6 days. And then on a day like today, they don't really have to trade. They had a huge day yesterday. Then they force, and they end up even wiping what they made yesterday. That's why every day in my community, I tell everyone first thing in the morning, especially if we had a big day the previous day, I tell them, do not, size small, next day size small. Do not give up what you gained yesterday. There's going to be losers, especially if there's a chop. There's a system. Use the system. Use the system to your advantage. The system will tell you, if there's no trend in first by 10 a.m., there's usually a chop. And the system will tell you if the things are going to turn bad. There's a VIX system. There's my MTF Cloud system. I teach them day in, day out. But the system will not do anything. System is 5%, 95% is your mentality, is your mind, is your brain, because human brain is a stubborn brain. It's the biggest enemy. Our fight is against us. Our fight is not against the market. We are competing against ourselves. I often talk about in the community that your brain will tell you, hey man, we are red. Let's take this trade. Maybe we'll make up for that red. Your mind will tell you, hey, this stock is going lower. You missed already. Just take a trade. Maybe it goes lower and you'll make some money. You'll turn red into green. that, your brain will take you the wrong way. And that's when you have to tell your mind, shut the F up. This is not my setup. I already tried to trade one setup that didn't work. So yeah, tame your mind and step away. I have a lot of content. I have an emotional flashcard that you should read. I'll probably share it here on Twitter later. And step away, look at the sky, go outside, take a deep breath. Tomorrow is a new day. Wait for your setup. Always wait for your setup. I show you so many good setups, and watch today's recap. I will discuss what market did, so you will understand how you could have handled the market better. It's not about making money. How could you could have preserved your money? The key is preservation. The gurus, they will tell you of making crazy money every day. No, that's not how it is. You have to preserve. I myself had huge losses doing those crazy stuff. So that's why I teach you that, so that you guys don't have to go through that. So make sure you print this out. Tell your mind that if I do not make any money today, that is okay. I will preserve what I have today. All right. So hopefully that helps. And let's start with today's recaps. All right, let's talk about the markets again. So guys, coming in today, the SPY was, the daily chart was looking pretty nice because we were looking for this inside out day. Our long was over this inside out. That's what we were looking for. There was a nice setup, and the way things were going yesterday, we thought we might get it. Excuse me. And QQQ was the same inside out setup, and we were looking for that trade. But that inside out happened to the downside. That inside out kind of happened in the downside, but we're reclaiming that. The other problem today was the VIX was gapping up, right? So we had a plan on VIX today. We had a plan. Let's look at our game plan in the pre-market. Our plan was simple, that if VIX holds these 23, 24 levels, 23, 22 levels, if it doesn't break that, then we will be cautious. Cautious of chop. Only long if VIX breaks those levels. That's what I said. And what did VIX do? VIX never broke that level. Never broke that level. What I said in the pre-market. So the VIX held up, the volatility held up. So we were cautious of the chop already. We had a plan. Now let's see what market did there, right? Initially, let's look at QQQ. We'll talk about VIX there as well. So what happened was, guys, till 10 a.m., we were short. We were doing amateur short. That was this morning candles, 1, 2, 3, short from here, dipping to 492. Then right at 10 a.m., right, the 10 a.m. concept I teach, we turned bullish. And that's fine. We turned bullish into the gap because VIX kind of rejected that level, right? So VIX rejected that level, and right at 10 a.m., you can see VIX rejected 24, and then we pulled down, and that was fine. We were looking for this long. I shared the gap trade, gap long trade. I shared the gap long trade in the community. So that long was fine. We drew a Fibonacci from here. This is the gap. I tweeted about it as well. That long was fine. These were the fib targets I told in the community. We covered our shorts at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. is an important concept. You need to learn and you need to use it. That's how we can manage risk well. There was no short right here. There was no short. And there was a long from 494s all the way to 498s, and there was a long from 575 SPY all the way to 0.61 Fibonacci. See, I was showing the Fibonacci, and everything was going good on the market trades till that time. But you need to realize that we are facing this resistance, and right away you have to get, if you're adding here, you are having a problem because you're adding close to the resistance, and VIX is starting to bounce. Do not ignore VIX. Right? If let's say you were trying to long here, you lost it, and there's no long. There was no long after this sell-off. I told everybody there's no long. I was actually guiding the short in the community when we were broke this. This was a short, and I was guiding a short under the yesterday lows, and I was guiding the short under the yesterday lows on SPY and QQQ as well. So I was guiding the short. So there was no long. So there was a long here. probably a chop here, but there was no trade here. There's no additional trade here because we are under the MTF clouds. And then there was a short here, and I told my community, most of traders were short. Of course, you can't chase the shorts. You can short here. You can short these bounces based upon wicks. But once this broke low of the day, yesterday's lows, that was just a short. And then that was a main flush, and this was a chop. So you need to understand where the best entry is. This is a good entry because there's a break. It's trying to come back. There's this vacuum, right? And once it starts to do that, you know, there can be chop. We try to call, and this is where the losers came end of the day, right? The news, because you need to see what Trump is saying, what Trump is tweeting. And this is where we gave up the profits. We were doing nice. This was nice. This was nice. You showed it. But this is where the problem comes. And that's when I told everybody, sit on hands. Sit on hands, not worth messing around with it. Because once our call failed, that was it. There was no, and we hit this resistance on QQQ. This was it. And this is where the traders try to lose money. You can manage this, you can long here, you can short here, but this is the problem. And you need to identify this because, and if you're having a hard time here, and you do not FOMO, too much news, focus on news. And one thing is, like when we have been selling off for days, there's going to be some choppy days like this. Actually, it's not bad. You know, it was a nice range right from here to the MTF clouds and right on the bottom. Our system was working flawlessly until this chop, because when there's so much news and chop, that's not worth it. So that was the story of the market, guys. That was the whole story of the market today. This is how you could have managed the morning long 10 a.m. Take your profits. I even tweeted about it, and then you get out. I was actually away on this short, so I didn't take it, but the community traded this all the way down. So this was all the personality of the market today, and this is where you could have lost money. If you lost money, got chopped, that is fine. That is perfectly fine. But you can't just keep losing and adding to your losers and getting the paper cuts and keep losing more and more and more, because there's always next day. If today is a small red, that's fine. So anyways, guys, this was the market recap. This is how we traded in the community, how the traders managed it. And let's go to the next one. All right, so that midday sell-off gave a lot of opportunity, guys, to the traders in the community following my system. Amazon was a short right here when we broke 512s. You know, there was other shorts as well. We can look at Apple. That was a nice fader MTF breaks. Those were the shorts. Amazon, one of course, the best one. Let's look at Google. Google was relatively stronger, but Netflix was a nice short as well in the community. And you can see that when we broke this MTFs, never looked back. And this was the market sell-off where you could take that opportunity to buy the puts and take it all the way down. You know, Netflix daily chart was very bearish. You know, we trade all these in the community all the time, and we see that Netflix was in the gap. You could see that why it was an A+ short. And that was the opportunity to take that short A+ Amazon, and that's how the traders in the community were trading all those shorts, Netflix, Amazon, right? So I talked about that. You can see everybody was on Netflix in the community, best short, right? There's a beautiful fade, breaking down, more weakness, 50 MTF break. That was beautiful. Gap fill trade, you can see the traders trading in the community. So that was a beautiful winner on Netflix, and of course, Amazon were amazing shorts in the community by the traders. And you can see it's not a BS. I'm showing you what we are doing all day in community here. So this was the opportunity that you could take in the midday sell-off, and you look at the daily charts. All right, I'm going to go a little fast through this lot of these setups today we had because I covered a lot on the psychology earlier. So MDB was another nice winner for us in the community. Let's look at the MDB plan. The plan was MDB was simple, bearish bias, but extended room to 200. Room to 200, cautious of the 512 calls. So MDB was a nice short in the morning for us. We were shorting it right at the open to 200. So 200 was our first target. But when it started to hold 200, I gave everybody warning that's bouncing from the 200. Be careful. And once it pulled over 512s, we closed our shorts. But later in the day, MDB gave another opportunity here. You know, there when it broke this 512s, that was another short. And again, the target was 200. And I gave the stop of 201.40. And I told the traders that if we break 200 on MDB, we are going much lower. You know, if we break 200s, we are going to go much lower. And then MDB flushed, and it kind of faked us out here again, stop out again. But later in the day, it went on to fade another $10, right? So there were definitely a few fake outs. but was a nice trade in the community regardless. Next one we're going to look at is Zscaler. So Zscaler were our long winner in the morning. Let's look here. Let's look at our timestamp guidance. Zscaler was a long. I alerted the long on the voice. Let's look at our pre-market plan on Zscaler here. MTFs below, bullish to neutral, long over 34.50. Push, avoid under the MTFs. So once it started to push right here, there was a long, right long from 203, 204. And then the breakout was at 2012. And we were pushing nicely. We made $6, $7, $8 per share. But once it broke the 512s, I told everybody to stop out, right? You see my stops. And then it faded. This is where you stop out, and you could short it with the market, and it faded like 10 points, 9 points from that 512 breaks. Again, in this market, no trend is holding. We are making a little bit money. That is fine. If it's not working, just get out. Just get out. Do not even think about twice. Zscaler was a great example that tanked with the market, which was working nicely for us. Similar example was MSTR, which was a nice long winner for us in the morning. We were trying to trade this for the tomorrow's catalyst play. We were long versus 300 MTF. So you can see that we were long on MSTR right here at 300, and we long right here, and we were long, and my target I gave everybody was 320, and we met over 320 and never really pushed over there. And so we stopped out here under 34.50. Actually, I was, got a little biased there. We tried a long again here, and when it failed, we stopped out, took a small loss. So you see that again in this market, the trend is not holding. I mean, $10, $18 move was nice to make a little bit of profit. But no complete trend. So if you don't manage your risk here, then again, you're going to keep losing all day. So it's not worth it. So that was our MSTR morning winner, and then a chop loser middle of the day. All right, let's quickly talk about a few of our other players here. MRVL was one of our another play in the community, which was we tried to short it at the open amateur move. That did not work. It curled right away at 512s. And then it became a long versus 73.30s. You see right here was a long 953 when I mentioned it. It gave us like $1, $1.50, hit the resistance. And again, we stopped out right here. You see that just a scratch to trade. And this is what happens in the market sometimes. Because MRVL was already down so much and took most of the meat out. And sometimes when it is extended, this is what you will have. And you can see that bearish bias, but cautious of 512 calls. So that was a MRVL. It did fade end of the day, but this was very choppy action, guys. This is when you lose a lot of money trying to figure out the short, bounce, 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 bounce. That's the part of the game, But anyways, that was a morning loser. Didn't really work on the long side. Let's go to the next one. So Tesla was a nice short in the community today. There was a bunch of news, target lowered, Houston approved something, and then we had resistance, support, and resistance. The plan was simple. It was still under MTF, so it was still bearish and a lot of resistance above. So nobody was trying to go long on Tesla in the community, nobody. And we were bearish, and the bounce with the market came, and this was not a long because it's under all the clouds. This long with this market, it's tough. If you're trying to long Tesla, you will lose. You see, I never talked about Tesla long in the community, never guided anybody to stay long. I do not like this swipe backs up at 10 a.m. Too much risk to long Tesla. And then Tesla became a short right here with the market, just with the market. You saw what market did right from the MTF clouds. And you short it, right? And I told everybody that if 265 breaks, we go much lower. Target I gave was 260. 512 break short, 34.50 reject. It was a nice fade, nice 100% on the puts as well. It did hit my 260 target end of the day, but there was a huge seller at 260 which helped it out. And we covered our short here, and it was kind of a long, but again, the long rejected and the calls were loser. Again, the choppy market, you can't do anything. But the worst you can do is going big sizes in these call trades. This is where you lose money, right? This is where you get chopped out and stuff. And it is what it is, right? Sometimes market is going to be like this. But what you can't do is on this chop, you lose all your days profit or you lose all your previous few days profit, right? So it's better to stay away. That's how I said sit on the hands, when I saw that crazy action happening. All right, let's look at VSCO, Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret also didn't really work. We were trying to short it, then it pushed up, chopped, and pushed back over the clouds. Did not work. That was one of the losers in the community as well. So we had HIMS as well on the game plan. HIMS again, the same thing. The morning 10 a.m. push, and then rejecting the 50 MTF and the short. You see everything was with the market today. Everything was with the market. You see where we break the clouds, everything was in sync with the market. So HIMS was a short here. And, when it curled, I said no short. But when it pushed and rejected, then it became a short right there. So, there are definitely some plays. PLTR was a nice short as well. Community, you see the power of MTF Clouds. There's no long. This is a C minus long. And when market tanked big time, all these names take a bigger hit. Now, bear flagging on the daily chart. But you can see that if the game plan I gave on PLTR in the pre-market was bearish bias if the daily 50-55 breaks. So that was the daily 50-55 MTF, the bearish bias. You short it. Your stops right up the top of the candle. You see that 512 never, it was all day short. All you had to do is short on the pops to the 512 or closer to the 1 hour or MTF clouds. So that was another nice trade by community traders today. Really, really nailed that one. You don't need to trade everything. You just need to trade a few things. Karan did really good. Anthony did really good. QQQ, Jay, Trade of Media, beautiful trades in the community by traders. So another similar setup. So it's a personality, right? You see all the shorts, everything has this big pop and 10, and then the fade. So if you were long at that big pop, you stop out and then you do not long it. I clearly told everybody, do not long it. APP was a short, big winner for us in the community. Let's look at the game plan. The game plan on APP was pretty simple here. Only long if market strong versus 300. So that's the plan I gave. So you see that APP, this was the plan. We put it on our game plan because it was close to 300 psychological level, big level, but market was not strong. So there was no long in APP. Short at the open, 10 a.m. you cover. That's fine, you cover, but you re-hit the short. And I was on the voice. I gave the targets of 280, 275, and then it was very heavy. I told traders we can go to 260 even. And you can see how the traders in the community were all over APP. Beautiful short. Jaswinder was on top of it. R Trades, Jazz, Booty, love it, So I'm just showing you how we are trading in the community with the system. Nobody's trying to long in APP. You will not see a single person who's trying to long it because it was a short. It was on our game plan. There's a repeatable system, repeatable strategy. So you see that even in today's tough market, there were setups, right? But if you're trading the index stocks and getting chopped up and down, then you have to be careful. So we had this GRRR, that news came out. I tweeted about that news as well. And GRRR was MTF short. I sent out the alerts of MTF break from 37.25. And then it went on to give a $6 short. When market is weak, the short setups are more probability. You do not look for long. That's the problem. People look for long. You listen to my teachings. When this is happening, you do not look for longs. Do not look for longs. Whatever happens, you do not look for longs. So GRR was beautiful, alerted in the community today. Beautiful short, and that was beautiful short. And Citron tweeted about it, and then there was a bear cave short as well. So we have faster breaking news in the community, so we are always on the top of it. Even when I tweet, it's a few minutes late. So yeah, there were a few other plays as well. I didn't do much, but traders were trading AXON today, which was 1 hour breakout. A lot of day two. I can recap a lot of plays there, but you can see that AXON was a day to fade all day as well to the 400s. So that was it, guys, today for the market. If you were trading index stocks, hopefully this video helped you to analyze what went wrong and how we can do it better tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.